Years ago, I was close to have sex with a girl I've been desiring for a while. We have been flirting, texting, and even have a couple of dates before. But we actually never had the chance to have that intimacy, mainly because I was broke and we were still kinda young. I was like 19 to 20 years old, so I basically didn't have the bandwidth to afford a hotel or something similar. But one day when I went to visit her, we had the place only for ourselves and we knew what was going to happen. The energy was super high because we have been waiting for this for a long time, maybe even like 1 to 2 years. When she started to undress herself, my heart was beating so fast that I could feel like right here in my throat, and my mind was totally blank because all this hype started to also translate in what was going to happen, if I was going to be able to perform properly or basically accomplish the expectations that we have for this. Even if I already had sex before, the amount of anxiety was starting to take over me. My mind was blank and I basically paralyzed. I was so anxious that I even started to shake like this, to the point where she had to tell me like, hey, calm down. And that made the whole interaction, like the dynamic, a little bit lame, because it was like she was dominating me. And when we started to have sex, I only lasted around 30 seconds. That was absolutely terrible because we have been waiting for this for so long, and it only lasted less than a minute. I could see the frustration in her face. I tried to fix this by trying to go down on her or telling her like, hey, just wait a little bit and we could try again. But she went like, nope, just forget it, right? And started to dress herself. She wasn't doing it in a rude way necessarily, more like being spontaneous, like, okay, that was all, I'm gonna continue with my day. But for me, felt so bad that I ended up crying right there. I was feeling like a total waste of a human being, like I was a loser. And when she saw that, she told me like, hey, if you're going to behave like this, I'm never having sex with you anymore. And that just made the scene even worse. I know that the scene sounds very pathetic, but thankfully, today things are very different. After going through a couple of situations similar to that one, I realized that I needed to fix the so-called performance anxiety that I was suffering, and that was causing problems like the premature ejaculation, the shaking, and all that bitchy and sad frame that I would always have when close to a girl. As soon as I fixed that, my sex performance skyrocketed and my timing went up to around 30 minutes. And today I want to share with you what I did so you can have similar results. First of all, if you don't know me, my name is Jesus Noya. I'm a Venezuelan sex coach with the goal of helping men to last longer in bed, become sexually dominant, and be more attractive. All this while avoiding the deadly mistakes that I made through my sex life. This comes from my years of experience dating in South America and all the struggles that I had to go through, like premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, and non-existent sexual confidence. Today I want to walk you through the steps that I followed to fix my performance anxiety and solve this problem for you forever. And even if you think you're having sex easily, this can also boost your performance, your dominance, and your timing, whatever is your current baseline. And just very quick, if you're suffering things like premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, and you would like to accelerate the process for you to become a sex god, you can go and click the link in the description right now, and that way we can work together on making that reality for you as soon as possible. But now let's jump to the video. Before walking you through the specific steps, I want you to realize something important. When it comes to anxiety and all the usual problems that people and men experience around sex, it's not usual, as a lot of people think, something physical, but rather is mentally and psychological. That's why when they go with the approach of using injections, pills, or creams, the results are always like mediocre, because they're not actually targeting what is the main problem, what is the root, that is usually related to something psychological. And in this case, with the anxiety, it's the same. You have to address the mental part mainly. And it's actually way more simple than what people expect. Even with something like depression, people try to make it like it's this big thing that we're not able to fix, that is something in the brain, that is something genetical. And even if that has a base, making it like this big super problem, super complicated to solve, I don't think that's the right approach. And I have never seen someone addressing this problem in that way actually fixing it. Instead, if you go with this approach of, okay, this is a problem and these are the steps to fix it, you are way more likely to actually solve it. It may sound like oversimplifying, but it works like that. I know because I experienced that myself. I thought at the beginning that I needed to like go to a psychologist or like something special to fix all this, but I didn't need any of that. What I needed were the right practices and the right mindsets, and that's what you need as well. You just have to actually implement this with consistency, and that's it. You will solve it. You have my word. So the step number one is getting away the negative thoughts. All the anxiety usually comes when your mind is fueled with BS. You start to think how you're going to perform, if she's going to like it, if she likes your size, how is your body, how is the situation where you guys at, if she even actually likes you. You start to go like this process of analyzing every single little thing. And it's like that's overcharging your brain to the point where you're just not able to do anything. And know that your gear can see now is like a little chihuahua that is paralyzed by fear, by overthinking, by overanalyzing everything. You're basically just castrating yourself. You're putting all your sexual and dominant energy in the trash can, and instead you go more in a logical frame, and that makes things like mechanic. Overthinking is something that I have to deal for years, and I know how awful it feels, right? I know it's terrible. It can even make you cry, like literally cry, just by the negative thoughts that start to appear in your mind. That's for normal life, but it's also terrible when it starts to interfere in your sex life. So we need to get rid of this overthinking as soon as possible. For that, there are three main practices that you can start to implement from now on. The first one is meditation, and I'm never going to stop mentioning it, because if there's a leverage, if there's something that can potentiate your sex life and actually take it to the next level, that's starting to meditate every single day. Besides the humongous amount of benefits that already has for normal life, when it comes to sex, it's specifically powerful because it connects your mind with your body and the present moment. And that's what you actually need when you start to have sex with a woman. You need to be right there with no thoughts in your mind more than what actually is happening. A normal session of meditation consists in you sitting down straight, putting your mind in silence, like totally blank, and just focus on the breath. You start to think in how you're breathing and how you exhale. You do this process, and then you have to focus all your thoughts only in that breathing over and over again. The important part of this is that you're always gonna get like a random thought that is coming to your mind. You're gonna think about what you're gonna eat that night, the bills that you have to pay, what's gonna happen tomorrow, what you're gonna do this weekend. It's gonna be always something random. And when that happens and you realize that it is like that, go back to the breath. And you repeat this over and over again until the session is done. You can put a timer and put it for around 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you feel that is actually comfortable. I do around 20 to 30 minutes daily. That's the mark that I already reached to, and I'm actually looking forward to increase that. But if you're starting totally new, do it for at least 3 minutes, and you're gonna see that it's actually challenging if you never have done it before. Meditation is going to finish with the overthinking very quick, because you're literally strengthening your mind to manage the thoughts that are coming randomly. And once you're close to have sex, or once you're actually having sex, you're gonna see how these random thoughts just stop coming. And even if they come, it's going to be way easier for you to just let them go away. The second thing that you can do to manage overthinking is journaling. I know that it may sound a little bit silly, but remember what I told you before. It's actually way more simple than you think. And after you have been doing the practices for a while, you're gonna be thinking like, how people is not doing this at all? Like, why everyone just neglect this? So stick with me, right? I want you to literally just grab a notebook and a pen. And anytime that you have a problem, anytime that you have something that is ruminating in your mind, you just start to write about whatever is concerning you, whatever is stressing you, whatever problem you have in that moment. I want you to just start to detail what is happening in your mind. Listen, one of the main reasons of why people overthink is mainly because they have like a problem in their mind that they're not solving, and they just leave it there. They don't even talk about it, and they don't even make like a plan or something to deal with the situation. They just leave it there in their mind until they start to like roll in there and consume other parts of their life. That's totally dumb. However, that's how most people actually go through life. But when you sit down and you start to write about it in a notebook, not in a laptop or anything like that, when you start to like literally put pen on paper and like rationalize whatever problem you're going through, it's like your mind starts to actively deal with it. You're forcing yourself to see the problem and process it, and maybe even to bring up solutions. That's why journaling is so powerful. And when it comes to sex, it's not like you're gonna bring a notebook once you have a gear naked, right? You're not going to do it right there. there. But the way that this helps you is that if you have been doing this consistently, once you are with a girl, you're not gonna get all these random thoughts about the insecurities of your body or other parts of yourself, because if that was something that has been stressing you before, you already went through these things, you already analyzed these things, and you are already working either on solving it, or you already understood that they're not actually like something to stress about. You could also avoid bringing bad energy from other situations like financial stress or whatever happening in your job or the relationship that you were having. Bringing this energy to bed is something that can cause anxiety and overthinking. But once you journal about these things, the probability for that to come in this specific moment when you're having sex, they just decrease a lot. You're not going to think about it. So that's the second practice for this. And the third part that I mentioned is more like a mindset. And that's that I want you to basically, once you're close to have sex, once you're right there specifically, and you see that you start to experience a little bit of overthinking, basically just turn your brain off and don't care about anything. I know that this may be a little bit scary, but believe me that doing the opposite is not going to help you at all. I don't want you to think about your performance, about how you look, about how she's gonna feel. I don't want you to think about anything. Literally just do whatever you feel like it, whatever you like the most during sex, and enjoy the moment. Literally just start to enjoy her body and being with her. Forget about everything else. I know that it's easier said than done, but this is something that you can start to put in practice from now on. Once you're gonna have sex, you don't care about how much your timing is going to be, if you last long, if you last too little, about what she's gonna think about it. You're just focused on having a beautiful and loving time with her. Having this energy is going to be way easier once you've been doing the two practices that I mentioned for a while, the meditation and the journaling. But that's what you have to do, and from there you will not have any negative thoughts again. Your mind will be just way more quiet. So that was the first step, getting rid of the negative thoughts and the overthinking. Now the second step is increasing your confidence, going more with this outgoing and relaxed energy anytime you're going to have sex with your woman. For this, there's one big mindset that's going to always help you, and if you have any life insecurities, it's going to finish with all of them. And that is realizing that, bro, once she's naked in your bed, it is absolutely done. You don't have to worry about anything else. What I mean by this is that any insecurity that you had before, like how your body was looking, if she actually is in love with you, if she actually likes you, if she actually is enjoying this, if she's comfortable, whatever may be in your mind, whatever you have a doubt, once she's naked, it's not relevant anymore. What she's saying, being in that state, is that I want to have sex with you, I'm comfortable with you, I like you, I desire you. So if that's the case, why are you going to cut your own wings? Why are you going to decrease your confidence in yourself? Bro, literally just hype yourself about it. Feel good for yourself for the fact that you have a beautiful woman right there in your bed that is waiting for you to have sex with her. You deserve love, you deserve intimacy, you deserve this moment. You don't have to worry anymore. I'm speaking in the context, of course, that this is a woman that you love, that you already married her, or at least you're thinking to marry her. If it is more of like a degenerate situation where you're hooking up with a random girl and you're insecure about her, bro, you deserve to be insecure, right? That you shouldn't be doing that in the first place. I'm speaking in the context that it's a girl that you love and it's a sacred and divine union. I just wanted to clarify that. So yeah, once she's naked, just don't worry about it that much. Focus again, as I said before, on enjoying the moment with her. I know you may get a little bit anxious about your performance, that you don't want to disappoint her, but just that thinking is what is going to actually cause that you perform worse. So not even think about it. Let that go out of your mind. And instead, even if a little bit of a delusional way, just keep hyping of yourself. Like, again, she's in love with you, you deserve this, she desires you, this is a beautiful woman that wants to be with you. And you just say to yourself that you're gonna do it great and enjoy this moment. So again, always have this mindset of when she's naked, it's done. You don't worry about anything else. The third and the last step, and this is going to make stronger the previous one, is increasing your confidence, but this time through evidence. What I mean by this is that some of your performance anxiety may come for things that you're worried about yourself, right? It may be your physique, your attitude, your sexual skills, your dominance, how you're not able to do center positions, whatever, right? There's something that is coming up to you that is causing you that stress, that's causing you that thinking. If you usually worry because you don't last as much in bed, start to work on the practices that will help you to increase that timing, and things like the meditation and journaling that I said before. If you feel bad about the fact that you don't know how to dominate here or like take the lead in the relationship, bro, start to work on that. Start to work on your dominant and masculine energy. There's a lot of ways to do it. I would say that one of the biggest leverage for this, for increasing your sexual confidence with evidence, is start to work on your physique. Start to work on your physical health. Once you start to like build muscle, improve your cardio, eat better, take the sun, and do all these health practices, your life changes for the better. And besides feeling way happier with yourself, you have way more confidence when it comes to interacting with girls, but also during sex. Like the time when I used to be very skinny and when I was having sex with girls, I wasn't having insecurities about my body, right? But I wasn't necessarily like super confident on my sex performance or my sex skills, right? I was like, just normal, just enjoying the thing. But now that I have went into that journey of improving my health, my body, of actually building a sexy and healthy physique, bro, I just feel like a catch. And I know this may sound like flexing, but that's generally how I feel. Like, if a girl is going to make love with me, I am the one giving her that privilege. I am the one giving her that opportunity. And again, I know that it may sound like flexing or too arrogant or anything. Girls enjoy way more than energy, than being like little scared or like just pleasing her in any aspect. They want more of this arrogant, masculine, and dominant energy. So if anything, having this mindset and having this approach of myself is just beneficial for both of us. And believe me, I guarantee that if you right now don't have that much confidence of yourself when it comes to sex, and you just have like an average physique, once you start to have more of a six-pack and a lean and sexy body, bro, you're just gonna feel way better with yourself, right? You're gonna go there being at least twice as confident as you usually are. So the ROI is definitely there besides all the other benefits that it comes with. So start to work on your physical health and your physique, and believe me that your sex life is never going to be the same. So this will be all the 3 steps. Follow this, and you will see how that performance anxiety never grows again through your mind, through your body. And from there, you're gonna be able to unlock relationships and sex sessions that you never even thought that were possible before. If you thought before that making love was like, an enjoyable activity, once you start to do these practices, this is when you start to unlock more of that powerful, divine, and sacred bond of love between you and your woman. Having that presence really make a difference. I know this myself. Getting rid of that sex performance anxiety that I suffered for such a long time really changed my life for better. And I really want the same for you. So please focus on this. Again, man, just very quick, remember that if you're struggling with things like premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, or if you just would like to accelerate the process for you to become a sex god, you can go and click the link in the description right now, and we can work together on making that reality for you as soon as possible. But besides that, man, I really hope all this has helped you, and I'll see you later.